Hello, and welcome to ClovenCast, the podcast show where we have no intro. I'm Blue Raspberry Slushy, and joining me tonight are my lovely co-hosts, Shamrock Shake, Baja Blast, and of course, Kel loves orange soda. Kel loves orange soda. Say hi, guys.
Hello, I'm the best drink, Baja Blast. I'm also the blue deer known as Spirit.
Top of the morning to ya. I'm the Irish one. Maple. I'm Canadian. Sorry.
Hello. I am the orange crush. I don't remember what you said, but now I'm
Kel loves orange soda.
Kel loves orange soda, and now I'm also Canadian. So now we got these voices.
We're not doing accents the whole time, guys.
I could do
Anyways, and today's topic is art versus artists. Don't meet your idols. Now, before we begin, would the host of the show like to please roll initiative for the turn order tonight, or are we not doing that?
I don't think we're doing it this time.
General chat.
Yeah, we're just
Hey, I guess we're just gonna discuss it then. Why not?
I rolled a 10 on charisma.
What's your modifier?
Oh, wait. On my current
Plus
character? Current character?
I got a 19 in charisma! And that's a modifier of +2.
We're not even rolling for initiative, guys. Focus.
-1.
Oh, what a way to talk about your artists versus art and how you could separate the people, huh?
Well, that's just kind of dealing with, because a lot of people are being outed for being scummy, and we know for a fact that it sucks when you find out that someone you like is scummy, so we decided to just talk about it. And you guys can share your thoughts in the comments too if you want.
Yeah.
Please do, please. So, Cryotic, right? Does everybody know what he did?
Tell me the tea.
So I don't even know who that is, so just tell me the tea.
Just a quick summary, because I want to know.
Okay, so did you watch PewDiePie back in the day? Because this is where I know Cry from.
Back
watching
in 2014.
Is like watching them do collaborated videos together. Anyway, Cryotic was a big, and I guess still is a big gaming YouTuber. Not sure if he streamed, but a few days ago, he admits that he had a non-physical romantic relationship with a minor on YouTube.
Oh, joy.
So with that, of course, he's been on the scene for so many years, and I never watched him, but I had a friend that did, and that loved his videos. It was like, yeah, I know, hey, Maple, check it out, right? And the people had fun watching him, but now it's with this information coming to light, it's that conversation of whether or not can you still enjoy his past content, or is that all kind of muddied now because of what he's admitted to doing, right? I know a bigger, better, and more common example of that would be Michael Jackson, right? And he was accused of having relationships with minors and stuff like that. And I was actually talking to Ty and Dega about it one day, and he said, yeah, didn't you know that he dangled his 3-month-old baby over the balcony that one time?
Oh.
Wait, MJ had kids?
Yeah, he apparently had kids.
Huh.
South Park did an entire episode on it.
How y'all feel about that, huh? Oof. Can you still listen to Bad Criminal knowing what
it's Smooth Criminal, Maple.
Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal.
I mean, there's a song called I'm Bad.
Yeah,
which is very true.
I confuse the two. So, thoughts? Yeah, thoughts?
I'm personally one of those people who, when it comes to people that I personally have held up, which is wrong of me, I guess, on a pedestal, and I boycott their entire content, I guess, if it personally hurts me. I mean, I don't know. I'm just one of those people who just absolutely boycotts. I can't even associate myself with you if you're like this. However, maybe that's a bad mindset on my end, because it's more out of emotional disappointment than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there are still some people who could justify like what was going on. Like, okay, there was an artist recently called Sakimi-chan who got into some big trouble for liking some racist / like Blue Lives Matter stuff. And people just went out on her, and she made an apology and all that, but while I still love her art, I just unfollowed her. Didn't even say a word about it because no.
It's like her artwork's tainted for you now, right?
Yeah, in a sense. It just doesn't feel the same for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's where like I growing up, because I'm here naming the big name celebrities like Bill Cosby.
Oh boy.
Well, because I never watched any of his stuff. I never he was never I never knew about him until like 2013, 2014 kind of thing. Right? That's when I was like hearing the name. I was like, all right, but I didn't really care. But I know there's a lot of people who watched whatever shows he was on. I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, the Cosby Show.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that, and people would like were watching. It's like, oh yeah, it's funny, and now it's like, well,
this guy was kind of a jerk.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he like in jail?
Yeah, he's been jailed for life.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It when that whole came out, it was just like, it's very hard to like. That was just like, well, obviously like gross, but like at least for me, like that in general is just like when someone comes out, it's like, okay, now I can no longer like this thing that I've liked for so long because the person who created it is a shithead.
And you feel kind of sad about it too.
Yeah.
You feel conflicted.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, mine's a completely different topic. Go on.
Yeah, like Harry Potter, for example.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck, JK? Like, I don't even understand what. I don't know what
goes on in her head.
I don't even like. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like red flags kind of started like raising for me when she insisted that Hermione was now black in the musical, and I'm just like, okay, why?
Oh my gosh, the freaking musical. Okay, I'll just tell you right now, that freaking script that reads like something I would have written in freaking high school. It is absolute garbage. And
Did
this is
write it?
No. Okay, this is the fucking tea. Okay, this is written by someone else, and she just gave a fucking thumbs up. Okay, she had didn't write this. Okay, and it's very apparent because the person who wrote this like gives Harry Potter that gives like quotes from the actual books of like, you know, they're about to go into the platform 9 3/4, and he's like, best, like, you know, you best give it a bit of a run, right? Quotes like that of like from the actual books are in this fucking play. Like, I don't want quotes from the book. I don't need nostalgia. I need new shit. And then plot twist, like they somehow find a time turner, and like it's garbage. Okay, it's absolute garbage. It's a fan fiction on stage. Mind you, if I actually watched it on stage, I probably would absolutely love it because I saw like a trailer for it on Twitter, and oh my gosh, the special effects are gorgeous. But that's because my technical theater brain is like, how did they do that? But the script is holding up my monitor. Okay, it's underneath my monitor because it's garbage. It's absolute garbage. And the script is like, you know, oh, by the way, Dudley's mom, she's dead. Like just one line of, she's dead, by the way. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? And like, you don't know why. She's just dead. Like,
okay, I guess.
It's just like random shit like that. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, they can foo powder into the head office, or the Dumbledore's office, just cause. I was like, I'm sorry, what? They constantly break rules. So that, just side tangent, I'm sorry, but that is absolute garbage. If you're a fan of the series.
It's kind of a side tangent, but I know I feel like, at least from my perspective, J.K. Rowling's been doing a lot of that kind of, like, changing stuff up, and it's just like, oh, Dumbledore's gay, or stuff like that, because I think she wanted to remain relevant.
I mean,
And progressive.
like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I'm fine with him being gay. Because the one line from the movie of like, Dumbledore's got style, and I'm like, hell's yeah, he's got style. But like, that's fine. I don't care what his sexuality is. Like, he could be like, yeah, I don't like, cool. Also, he had like, if his hit like, not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised because um, if him and the what's his name,
The evil boy.
the evil boy, like they spent summers together. Like, go on. Um, so yeah, I'm not surprised she came out like, by the way, he's gay. Like, whatever. Like, that didn't bug me. It's more like when she gets on, like, steps on the soapbox and's like, this is what I think, and I'm like, no,
You're just digging your own grave, girl, and you're not making a good image for yourself.
I'm like,
Oh,
please.
she already wrecked it.
Oh yeah, no, it's garbage. And it's like this whole, and like this whole community, like Harry Potter literally like was the reason I started reading as a kid. I had no interest in books whatsoever, and that Harry Potter was like that addiction drug that got me into reading. So the fact that the person who created this book series that got me reading is like essentially being a garbage person is like makes me so sad. So it's like,
sorry, go on.
It's like, it's, and then like they like, so like the fandom is like, we still love Harry Potter, but you're garbage. So it's like,
we love what you made, but we hate you, and we don't know how to feel about associating with you anymore.
Yeah.
Well, because Daniel Radcliffe and I think Emma Watson came out saying, she's like, and especially this was just kind of ad-libbing for what old Danny Boy said, but it was just like, don't like for those people who have been like deeply touched and like who a big part of themselves is in that, like the book series and even the movies, or just the whole Harry Potter universe as a whole, to not let your life experiences with the story be tarnished with JK's recent actions, right? And it's just like, because it's Harry Potter has had such a cultural phenomenon on everything, right? Where it's just like you find it everywhere, and it's just a book about a bunch of wizarding nerds, right? But another, I guess, one for me to bring up is old Disney, like Dumbo and stuff like that.
Oh, that's a long.
That's a whole podcast all for itself.
Yeah. To kind of summarize it, right? It's like all these really poor, like, because it's
choices.
They're products of their time.
Yeah.
Right. Where these very not okay things were happening, but does that? So like, I sure as hell know Dumbo isn't my favorite movie, like Disney movie by far.
No.
But it's like, for those people who do love Dumbo, right, the original movie, can they still watch it and enjoy it with these like very racist and poor descriptions of people and actions in the movie, right?
And the crows, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't speak for those people. I think it's a fine movie on its own, and I think they have the disclaimer at the front. I haven't checked Disney Plus, but I know when we rented it through the Telus Optic, it was like, there's a disclaimer saying this is a product of its time. Like, we're not going to edit it or anything like that. Like, it is what it is. Don't get mad at us, because like us as a company have grown from that, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of like Disney, like animation, like making shows and stuff, like, yes, that stuff was not appropriate. Okay, it never was appropriate. But it's a product of its time. I hate, like, I'm not comfortable with it. Not saying I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah,
but it happened, like, and we can learn from it. That was not appropriate. Never was appropriate. And you should never do that again.
Oh, yeah, it's like, it's just humans learning from their mistakes, right? And I mean, if you can look past the poor things, knowing what we know today, right?
Mhm.
Can you still enjoy those movies? No, I don't know, because I frankly, there's only one classic Disney movie that I actually will put on and enjoy for an afternoon, and that being Sleeping Beauty. So I don't really, it's not really my place to say anything. It's like, oh, well, blah, blah, like this one was like Dumbo and then blah, 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 right? I can't speak for that, but
Mhm.
Well, it's kind of like, in some ways, like, because we all know, like, everyone looked up to Walt Disney because of the image that the company forged for him. And then when you started looking into him as a person a little bit more, like, especially
Ooh.
with how culture has changed, and I'm very glad right now that people are moving to get equal rights and everything like that, because that's something that's been bothering me in the background, and I'm glad that people are talking about it finally and
Yeah.
are making a statement on it.
Mhm.
But the thing is that, like, it kind of sucks, especially, like, because I'm an animator. You'd think that being an animator in training, so to speak, that Disney would be one of my driving forces. But ironically, no. Like, it kind of, it brings up the topic of, like, when someone from a completely different era did something that isn't acceptable now, like, are you
Yeah.
still allowed to like what they produced? And I guess it kind of brings the whole topic of, like, is it okay to like the art even though the artist was a bad person?
yeah.
Ooh.
And I guess that's the whole topic for today, right? And it's just like, can you separate that art that they made and separate all their, like we just finished talking about with J.K., where people are able to with Harry Potter and her, but can we do that with other people? And I guess it depends on the people, their actions, like whatever happened, the context of everything. Like J.K. and Harry Potter, it's very different from, say, Bill Cosby and the jokes he made, kind of thing. Because J.K., like Harry Potter, was just, that was its own separate story. There was it's all that stuff going on, and then there was just, it's just her speaking now as a person. You could,
Mhm.
she doesn't really self-insert herself much into the books she's made. But then when you look at some like the previous skits and jokes, because I know I've seen a few, I couldn't name them, of like what Bill Cosby has said as jokes, and people go, haha, funny. But then now it's like, knowing what he did, it's like, that's kind of creepy now that you said that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I guess with that word, where would Disney, like Walt Disney, fall on that spectrum, as well as like all the other animators of that time, right? Where would they fall on that spectrum? Can you separate what they drew versus who they were as a person, right? Like, can you separate their creation from them?
Or is that even appropriate? Like, that's also a good thing to like.
I guess it also
Talk
kind of
on.
depends, and this is at least something from my perspective, is that art is art is 50% like physical creation and 50% putting a bit of yourself into it. At least for me personally, because art, I draw the comparison, like V for Vendetta and what is it, 1984. They're instances of an artist using their personal beliefs, or like using their personal observations in order to kind of like, in those cases it was a warning story. So I suppose it kind of comes down to the question of, like, are the actions of the artist here something that the artist personally believes in and like personally believed in and still believes in? So like, is it that intertwined? And I think that proxy.
With that, I guess it's just seeing, like, I guess with what I was just saying, right, where it's just like, how much do they kind of self-insert themselves into what they're making? So, and I guess that shows, and it depends on the different examples you look at, right? Like, and it's just like, well, again, JK, there really wasn't much self-insert with that, from what I know and what I am aware of. She was just writing, she had a story to tell, so she did it, but it's like, it's just her ideas that are in there, not so much like she had an alternative motive in the Harry Potter books. But then with Bill Cosby, it seemed like he was kind of self-inserting and just being like, haha, joke, right? But it's just like there was a little bit of him and what he's done in those jokes, right? That's what makes them just so unsettling now to listen to, some of them, right? Like, so it's all contextual.
So just because I feel like we're talking in a circle.
Yeah.
Have you? I would like to bring up another creator. Have you guys heard of the Yogscast?
Yes.
Yeah, what did they do?
Okay, so this is the latest tea. This just in from across the pond. The Yogscast have teamed up with Rooster Teeth. Okay, and they do Gmod games on Rooster Teeth. And I found on one of the Twitter threads, I found this, and I'm going to read this tweet now from BB at Rooster Teeth. It's disappointing to see a company like yours do absolutely no research when it came to Yogscast. For a company that always preaches about the community being a family, you guys seem to ignore the sexual assault, racism, homophobia, and grooming tied with them. And then there is literally a like a thread of all the examples of them streaming and saying racist things and like homophobic things, and like it's just like example after example after example after example. So that's for your leisure later. But I used to watch the Yogscast when I was younger in college, and I absolutely loved them. I loved the Minecraft thing they did, like the whole like storyline behind that. I absolutely loved it. And I even donated to that Kickstarter they had for a game they were gonna make. And then it came out, oh, we we didn't realize like that doing a game was a lot of effort, and all the money has been used up already, so we can't issue refunds. So that was the killing point for me with these guys. And to find out that they're also some of the people on the Yogscast are not
desirable.
Not desirable, is just really not cool. I also watched. I was curious after watching like a bunch of these. I went to the Rooster Teeth website and I watched like the first Gmod episode that they have, because I thought it was just the Achievement Hunter guys. Because they also do Gmod stuff, and like so it's the Yogscast, and I can't remember his name. The one of the main guys, he's like doing the intro of like, it's Gmod and I'm so and so, and he starts listing off all the people playing today, and then he forgets the woman, the girl who's playing, and she has to introduce herself, and he's like, well, you should jump on that. Like, it was just like, oh, this is a bad reintroduction to you guys, even though I've seen this thread of you guys. So that's the latest tea. Is they're also, apparently they've said the N-word too. So
well, and I guess it kind of when it comes to company collaborations, and I don't know how much we want to delve into it, but I do remember we had kind of a similar thing when it came to running RamCon, when we had to.
Oh yeah.
And we won't talk about RamCon here too much, but I think another thing is that two questions that often arise is one, like, was the person who even proposed, like, because some people, it's just an instance of like genuinely not being aware, and they aren't aware of like
for me.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, sometimes they're not always aware.
Yeah, but like for me, the Yogscast are like big enough, like that I feel like you like, and Rooster Teeth is also big enough that you could find some of these accusations.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not. Where's your team of researchers?
Yeah.
Um,
Like do a background check or something on what's going on and who you're bringing onto the team, right? Like
look
if you have a big enough group, you should be able to do that.
look at some of their content, like like I'm not going to dive deep into the rabbit hole or say names or anything like that, but you know, running Ramcon, like we looked at people, made sure like at least that, you know, we weren't bringing inappropriate people into the server, like
And
because
granted, we were very limited on time, so the fact that 4 people heading a con managed to do background checks should kind of speak of the quality that should be upheld, I guess.
yeah.
Yep.
And I guess kind of the question is also like what happens because there are instances where people will intentionally try to cancel someone who didn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
Or not knowing the full side of the story, and I hate that I've said that, but it's like I remember the whole pro Jared thing.
Mm.
And his wife, well, ex, Heidi was speaking out to all these things that Jared has done, right? And now it's like, okay, well, when it comes to cheating and a relationship in that regard, that's between them. Shit happens. I won't get into that. But then there was people coming out and the allegations that he had was like inappropriate and like exchanging nudes with minors, right? And there were all those allegations, but then he made his video. It was like, oh well, here are my receipts, here's this, blah 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 blah, right? And I forgot where I was going with that, but it's like it's
a two-sided coin.
Yeah, two sides of the same of one coin, and it's like cancel culture can be it's such a beast, and it can destroy somebody who's still like who is kind of innocent, but I guess that's like none of us on the third side of the coin, none of us are true detectives, right? And in regards to the whole pro Jared thing, it's like it's a he said, she said, they said, who said, Dr. Seuss thing, right? Where it's just you just kind of have to take those situations with a grain of salt and just kind of
accept nothing, question everything.
Yeah,
and be careful before you speak.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was a fun situation there.
Hey,
God.
Honestly, like, okay, I think we all have a background, and we've all been we all have experience with situations like this. When it comes to at least like, I know Christy and I were personally involved with a community member back in the day. Like, not involved, but like had at least I was on a business level with him.
Mm.
If it's the one we speak of, yes.
Yeah, and the thing, like, here's the thing.
I don't know, Maple, were you in a
No, I mean,
oh, you were immune to it.
Well, because before it all happened, like they talked to me once to get like a thumbnail done, but after that, it was like a week after that is when everything came to light.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
I had a tangent that I was going on with that. Let me see if I can remember what I was talking about really quickly. I started off on one thought and then ended on another. Oh, I think so we're kind of getting towards the end of our runtime, but I think a big question that a lot of people are going to have is that, especially in this day and age, is what do I do? Because a lot of people finding out, especially if someone is your personal hero, that like someone is an awful person or did something absolutely awful. I think the question is like, what do you do in that situation? How do you deal with the grief, and how do you move on?
I mean, it is a grieving process when you find out that somebody you admire or look up to is a terrible person or has done something wrong. And I guess in the conversation of can you separate the art from the artist, well, that's up to you and your own judgment and how you see how you see that previous content and how you choose to move forward yourself. But it's definitely, you need to take time to just kind of, yeah, like grieve. Remember what once was. Maybe talk about it with people who are in the same boat as you, and just kind of move on as you will. Whether you want to go on this whole, like, if you want to jump onto the cancel culture train and cancel them, that's your thing. But it's like, if they're, that's, you know, it's just kind of don't just, yeah, just take a step back and just reflect and just follow your gut with what you think is the next best move, and when it comes to yourself personally.
Right. I think so. Being older now, I would tell my younger self that everyone is human, okay? Even your idols, even the people you watch on YouTube, they are actually human beings. And everyone makes mistakes, okay? Some people are garbage people. Like, just keep that in your mind, okay? Some people, like, they do absolute horrible things, and we've talked about those people today. But there's some people who, like, and like in, I'm gonna, like, the brony community, okay? Like, there's been like tiny drama, okay? And they've done like, oh my gosh, that's one horrible thing. I can't believe they did that. But also, like, they're just a person, okay? They're a human being, and they screwed up, and you don't know them in real life. Like, you just see like a persona. So just, I would like,
and sometimes you meet people and you've actually gotten to know how they are though in real life, and they turn out to be garbage people though.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like, because like I can be very shy in like real life, so like people, like, your idols can be very different in real life, so I would keep that in mind.
I'm
And
cringy and hyperactive.
I'm one or the other, right? So I would, like, it's, and like, grieving when someone like disappoints you is it's a process, and I think all of us have gone through that. And it just you'll get through it.
I'm a Libra. I never get through it.
Never forget.
Never forget.
I think so I've been ruminating on it a little bit during this recording of the podcast, and I think one of the things, like I said earlier, don't jump to conclusions, don't say anything or jump on the bandwagon until you know the full story. And even then, the full story, different sides have bias, and each side will present their side to kind of, even if they don't intend to. Like, I personally live by a code of honesty. So if I fuck up, I'm going to admit that I did, and I have fucked up time and time again, and I hope I never do something as heinous as some people have, because the thing about being aware about these situations is that when you're aware of someone who is a sexual predator or something like that, it should serve as a sign to definitely not do that, because in cases where it's real, that person needs to be punished. But there's also cases where if it's someone who is out to, like, spite you, like, intentionally, I don't like you, I want to ruin you, they will make it, like, they will make allegations against you that can ruin a person. And here's the fact of the matter is that don't hold your idols to a virtue, especially when they fuck up. Like, personal idols, and I hate to make this comparison, but personal idols are like politicians. It is the responsibility of their audience and the people around them to keep them honest, to keep them true, and because someone who does something intentionally malicious does not deserve to have your love. Because they won't care about you when you come to White Knight for them. They're just going to see you as another head in the crowd and as another tool for their success. So people who are malicious don't love you, and they don't care about you. So just keep that in mind, especially since I know a lot of folks on the internet are young. So
Yep.
just remember, I'm getting a little broken up about this because I've been through the ringer so many times where it actually like you speak to
Honestly,
your own personal experience.
I absolutely understand this because it's not who we are thinking we are, but it's a different person that I have met in the brain community. Anyway, I don't know. Some people just aren't as nice as they seem. And it's heartbreaking when they turn out to be someone who's malicious, somebody who just doesn't even want to talk to you, even though they've claimed to be your friend, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe they haven't even claimed to be your friend, but they talk behind your back and just... I don't know.
Yeah.
You will know who your true friends are, though, but be cautious if you do put somebody up on like this pedestal, because I don't want to be put on a pedestal because I'm afraid of breaking somebody's heart because I'm not living up to their expectations. So I just would rather not have those expectations be a thing, you know? I appreciate fans and I will absolutely love to hug you as long as you don't smell. Be sure to wear your deodorant, people.
And shower.
But at the same time, I'm not this art god that you see me as. I'm
We're human.
We're all human.
yeah.
We're all bound
Some
to make
people are jerks.
I'm just a llama.
Yeah, what am I
Okay,
talking about?
well, alright. I guess our orange soda over here has the exception in the humanity circle.
Soda.
The soda.
Hey, soda.
I guess it's
Yes.
probably about time to wrap up. Christy, do you want to take it away?
Yes. Just give me a second. And that's it for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell in order to join the ClovenCast crew. The Cloven crew. Whatever. Bleh. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter when we announce new episodes. Hey, and lastly, if you would like to support us, be sure to like, comment, and share this video around. And hey, be sure to join us every week on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all for now. This is the ClovenCast signing off.